welcome to Munati Breakfast Show, and we sincerely apologize for the late broadcast due to technical faults. To present to you, my name is Achiluba Daka, and join me after this short break. And today in the studio, I'm not alone. I'm joined by Mr. Lucky Munakampi. Your name is hard. Mr. Lucky Munakampi. Welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you very much, and thank you, viewers.
You're welcome. So today we're going to talk about the current affairs. We're going to analyze what's happening, like it states in the Lusaka Times newspaper. So our first headline is that Sean Tembo described President Hakainde Hichilema as a shallow-minded president. President of the Patriots of Economic Progress, PEP, Sean Tembo has described President Hakainde Hichilema as a shallow-minded president on the copper belt that government can only deliver development when they elect a united party for national development candidate. Speaking when he appeared on Radio Ichengelo 3 days ago, the president said that the only way his government can deliver developments to the people of the Kwacha and Kabushi is if they vote for UPND. So what can you say about this, sir?
Well, it's quite an interesting headline, and basically still in line with the pattern of opposition politics that Mr. Sean Tembo has continued with ever since last year's elections. I want to say that I think quite on a number of occasions Mr. Tembo has made some quite interesting headlines. He has been, for lack of a better term, brutal in his style of offering checks and balances to the New Dawn government. However, my take is that the approach Mr. Tembo is taking is somewhat like parallel to the views, desires, and wishes of the people of Zambia, in that in the previous elections of last year, the people demonstrated that they were going to say no to politics of name calling, politics of fault finding, and that the people are opening a new chapter in our politics in which they are looking for solution-based kind of politics devoid of name calling and all that.
Okay. So it's clear that the people of Zambia chose what they wanted.
Correct.
Okay. And then we go to another headline which says High Court denies the state to stay the suspension of the by-elections. I'll go in details a bit. The Lusaka High Court has, however, quashed the state's application to leave to appeal against the suspension of the Kabushi and Kwacha parliamentary by-elections. The court has further denied an application by the state to stay the suspension of the by-elections. On Tuesday this week, the Lusaka High Court suspended the Kwacha and Kabushi parliamentary by-elections following the application by two former parliamentarians, Joseph Malanji and Bowman Lusambo. Mr. Malanji and Mr. Lusambo of the Patriotic Front, PF, contended that unless the by-elections were suspended, they would suffer prejudice. What can you say about this?
Well, there's a principle that we cannot discuss matters that are very active in court, because doing so we risk being cited for contempt of court. However, what I can say is we all have an obligation to respect the verdicts that come out of court, and where we are not satisfied, we have the option of appealing to a higher court, and in this case the state wanted to exercise that right They wanted to appeal. However, the court decided what they decided, and this matter being quite urgent, I think it is only proper that today it proceeds to trial. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the court has up to, is it 21 days, to decide or to determine this matter. So it's good that the matter is coming up today in the High Court.
Great. And we move on to another headline which says, government bemoans lack of diversification in Northwestern. Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Grandson Katambi has bemoaned low diversification by farmers in the region. Colonel Katambi says that development is serious as it could affect the 8th National Development Plan, 8th NDP, on agriculture if not addressed. He says one of the major issues of pillar number 1 of the 8th NDP is low diversification among others, which needs to be dealt with. And then about the government bemoaning lack of diversification in the Northwestern. What can you say about this, or maybe what's your opinion about this?
That's quite interesting. Diversification from mining to other sectors, say agriculture and tourism, is a song I have heard from the time I was young, from the time I was in primary school. We've been talking about diversifying from mining to agriculture, tourism, manufacturing, and this song keeps on being sung. However, I'm happy that the 8th National Development Plan has set out clear objectives and plans and steps to be taken on how to diversify our economy from mining into these other sectors. And I think the government has put in place certain means. For instance, the CEEC is currently running loan programs to eligible citizens, cooperatives, small to medium enterprises, and the like, in order for them to venture into agriculture, manufacturing, and all that. So it's entirely up to the people of Northwestern Province to respond to the goodwill that the current administration has shown.
Okay, that's great. We move on to another story which says Litunga calls for development in Northwestern Province. In details, Litunga calls for development in Western Province. It says Sikongo, September 15th, 2022, Zanis. The Barose Royal Establishment says the Litunga Luwosi Imwiko II is determined to ensure that Western Province is developed through multi-sectoral investment approaches that could trigger employment for the local people. Zanis reports that the BRE Ngambela Prime Minister Mukela Manyando says the Litunga is working round the clock to ensure that development is brought in the region in a bid to improve people's livelihoods. Mr. Manyando said the Litunga is a development-oriented traditional leader who is soliciting for development in Western Province through local and foreign investors. Hence, his tour of districts such as Sikongo to explore developmental opportunities in the area. The Ngambela said this is Sikongo when he addressed the residents who came to receive the Litunga at the Royal Arena in Sikongo district. Meanwhile, the Ngambela has called on the Lozi people to continue preserving their culture and traditions. At the Royal Arena, the Litunga was entertained by traditional dances that include limba, which is performed by women, as well as cultural dances by Mbaonjikana dancing troupe and the Green Buffaloes cultural group. So about the Litunga calling for development in the Western Province, what can be your say about this, and what is saying that people should preserve their culture?
Well, it's actually quite exciting to hear the call from the Litunga, because the Litunga is the custodian of the traditions, the land, the forests, the waters, the rivers in this part of the country. Now, from my perspective, one of the challenges I think which has hampered development in this part of the country is policies towards acquisition of land. So if the Barrow's Royal establishment is going to reform the processes that are supposed to be undertaken for an investor to acquire land in this part of the country, then we should be able to appreciate and see the core by the Litunga coming into reality, because quite a number of investors have been wishing to invest in this part of the country. However, the processes of acquiring land have been complicated for many of them. So this is good. Indeed, this province has lagged behind in terms of development, and when you are in this part of the country, you would actually start wondering whether you are in Zambia or you are just in some neglected place. So we need to see development in Barrow's land as well.
Okay. What I can say about that is, okay, the call for development is a very good thing that the Litunga has done, because we can't only say we are developing one city, or maybe we can't say we are developing Zambia while leaving others out. So development should be country-wise. That's interesting. We move on to another thing which says, Kawambwa DC happy with census exercise. Kawambwa, September 15th, 2022, Zanis. Kawambwa District Commissioner Godfrey Chilambwe has described the just ended 2022 census of population and housing as successful. Mr. Chilambwe has thanked the residents for the support and cooperation rendered to the enumerators, who are now carrying out a mop-up exercise which will come to an end on the September 21st, 2022. He said the district has never recorded challenges such as enumerators being chased, beaten, or their tablets stolen from the time the exercise started on. He stated that the data being collected from the household is important to help government to effectively plan for the development of the country. Mr. Chilambwe has since appealed to households who could have not been enumerated to take advantage of the extension and make themselves available to be enumerated. The 2022 census of population and housing, which commenced on August 18th, 2022, ended on the 14th of September 2022. The Zambia Statistics Agency has, however, given a period of 1 week for a mop-up, which is a callback exercise to areas and households that were not fully enumerated. So the Kawambwa DC is very happy with the exercise that was conducted in Kawambwa. And then what can be your say about the census that was conducted this year, and maybe not only based in Kawambwa but other districts?
Well, for starters, were you counted?
Yes,
I was.
Definitely I was.
Well, the government need to plan in terms of service delivery to its people, and in order for this to be done effectively, there is need once in a while, usually I think after every 10 years, to count and assess not only the population but also the needs of the people in the community, so that the government is able to plan adequately, and so that it's able to deliver services, not only to deliver services but also to take services to where the people are. Hence the importance of an activity like this census, which is just coming to an end. And it's good that quite a number of people were counted, though I've been seeing on social media others indicating that they haven't been counted. So it's good. The process was a success.
Okay, that's great. This has been Munati TV Breakfast Show, and then you can drop your contribution, you can drop your comments on the line that is showing on your screen, which is 0975 31 48 54. From now on, we go on a short break, and join me after this short break for more news.
Munati. Meaning something sweet. Munati, your TV on the go.
Catch us anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a device and internet.
Munati TV is Zambia's first internet TV station. And internet is just not in Zambia, meaning Munati TV cuts across all borders with viewers all the way from USA, Botswana, South Africa, the UK, and world over. Internet is the future.
And the future is now.
Welcome to the future. Welcome to Munati. Your TV on the go. Munati. Meaning something sweet. Munati, your TV on the go.
Catch us anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a device and internet.
Munati TV is Zambia's first internet TV station. And internet is just not in Zambia, meaning Munati TV cuts across all borders with viewers all the way from USA, Botswana, South Africa, the UK, and world over. Internet is the future.
And the future is now.
Welcome to the future. Welcome to Munati. Your TV on the go. Munati. Meaning something sweet. Munati, your TV on the go.
Catch us anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a device and internet.
Munati TV is Zambia's first internet TV station. And internet is just not in Zambia.
Welcome back, viewers. I'm still in the studio with my guest, Mr. Lucky Mwanakambi. So right as of now, we're going to talk about business. Let's talk about the exchange rate and how the dollar and the kwacha, how the things are going on. Like I would say the kwacha is gaining and then the commodities are still high. What can you say about that? Or maybe, what can you say about that?
That's an interesting thing. First and foremost, Zambia is an import-dependent country. We import almost about everything, including food, groceries, and all that. So when the kwacha is performing poorly against major currencies like the dollar, the rand, and all that, the end result is high cost of these basic goods at household level. However, I think over the past 1 year or so, we have seen the kwacha gaining strength. At some point, actually, it was being said to be the world's best performing currency. And quite true. The appreciation of the kwacha ordinarily should translate into a reduction in prices at household level. And I think without really calling for price controls, I feel in a way either the consumer protection unit or the government itself must take keen interest in some of these things. I think we have seen a trend where people are in a hurry to increase prices. And when you ask them why they're increasing prices, they'll tell you, no, it's because of the kwacha, it's because of the dollar. You see that? So when the dollar goes up, people quickly increase prices. When the dollar comes down, they don't do the same. You see that?
Yes.
So it is a good thing that the kwacha has gained strength. We've seen a reduction in the cost of fuel. We should also see a reduction basically in almost everything that is dollar related.
That's interesting. So right as that now we move to another thing that is happening in Luangwa, which says PF scoops Luangwa Council chairmanship. What can you say about the PF winning the by-elections in Luangwa? What can you say about it?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's only proper to congratulate the opposition patriotic front.
Okay.
You know, the country went to general elections just slightly above a year ago, which saw the patriotic front losing power to the current ruling party, the UPND. However, we've seen that the party is still appealing in some sectors of this country, which is a very good thing. Citizens must be at liberty to choose a political party of their choice. Not only that, but to also choose leaders of their own choice. However, I think it's a time for the ruling party to sit down and reflect, ask themselves genuine and honest questions. We've only been in power for a year. We received a resounding majority from the people of Zambia. But why is it that within a year, some people still feel like we are not responding to their needs, we are not providing the solutions that they want? So really, big ups to the Opposition Patriotic Front on this victory.
So according to you, what could you say, or maybe what do you think went wrong for? Because maybe people might be thinking because the UPND emerged victorious over the elections that we had last year, so maybe we should have UPND everywhere, Chairman's Council, UPND. That's what other people can think. So what would you say? What do you think went wrong?
Well, I wouldn't really say anything went wrong.
Okay.
Remember, this is a by-election that is arising from a nullification. You see that? And the PF has simply reclaimed the very seat they won last year. That's number one. Number two, this constituency is actually, or district, is in a part of the country that is well known for being conservative. Okay? Zambia moved from UNIP to MMD in 1991. this part of the country, to a larger extent, actually did remain in UNIP. Okay, Zambia moved from MMD to the Patriotic Front. You again observe that for quite a long time, the MMD as an opposition party and former ruling party continued actually winning by-elections in this part of the country. So even now, notwithstanding other challenges that the current ruling party might have, it's expected to some extent that the opposition Patriotic Front would continue winning elections in this part of the country. However, from my own perspective, I would say the ruling party could have certain structural gaps. For instance, you go to the provincial levels, the district levels, you had some party officials who've been appointed to positions of, say, maybe district commissioners. Others maybe could have been appointed as permanent secretaries and the like. But these officials have not been replaced at the party level. For instance, even at the National Management Committee level, you have people like Honorable Patrick Micheleka, who was the Deputy Secretary General, who has been appointed as permanent secretary. So they have left vacancies in the party. And these vacancies, for the party to be effective, the party needed to quickly sit down and fill up those vacancies. Then we should be able to begin to see some cohesion starting to come back.
Okay. In your explanation, you said something that the ruling party has got some structural gaps. And then, if it is so, in the upcoming elections, what could the ruling party do to fill up those gaps so that maybe they can emerge victorious in some by-elections?
Well, it's entirely up to the party leadership.
Okay.
Because, for instance, the National Party chairperson was appointed High Commissioner to Namibia. This is just one example of those critical positions that need to be urgently filled up, so that those who've been appointed to government, they continue doing their government business, and those who remain running the party, they continue doing party business. Because in an attempt to separate the party from the government, neither of the two should suffer. But so far, I think we are seeing the party is being disadvantaged. And if this trend continues, we may see the ruling party again being routed in Kabushi. Maybe to their credit, the Patriotic Front, despite the humiliating defeat they suffered at presidential level in last year's election, I think they have remained united, they have remained determined, they can still bounce back to power.